yourself problem child. No, you are problem joke. If you ever step in a ring with me, I make sure you forget your name.
Paul's a fraud in terms of boxing. But worse than that, after all his hype about what he was going to do to Joshua, what did we see? We saw a cowardly display from a guy who shouldn't be anywhere near.
Hey, buddy. Nah, I just hate it, bro. I'm good. I have thick skin, but it's just like so annoying. It's like
absolute idiot. There was no reason for, first of all, you go to jail. Why would Netflix, the biggest streaming platform in the world, partake in anything like that? Just use your brain. And MVP, too much to lose. You go to jail. Federal effing.
It's bad behavior. It's bad behavior because
This moment sets the tone for everything that follows. Oleksandr Usyk is no longer speaking as just a champion, but as a man on a mission. With Anthony Joshua still recovering from a devastating accident, Usyk openly points the finger at Jake Paul, promising MMA revenge and making it clear this call-out is deeply personal.
Punch like you're ordering Starbucks. You throw hands like you're clapping for TikTok likes. So if you ever mention my name again, I will baptize you in pain. Not boxing match, execution. Now go play with Logan. Real fighters are busy making history.
Oleksandr Usyk clearly warns Jake Paul and openly challenges him to step into an MMA fight. Usyk is saying he is ready to leave boxing rules behind and meet Jake Paul in a far more dangerous environment. This exposes Jake Paul's limits because calling out a YouTuber is easy, but accepting a real fighter in MMA is another level.
Stop whining and ducking. Be a man. In the contract.
Anthony Joshua is saying that after facing death so closely, his entire view of life has changed. He is admitting that fame, wealth, and validation no longer matter the way people think they do. This shows a man who has been shaken by reality, not hype. While Jake Paul plays characters online, Anthony Joshua is speaking from experience, pain, and perspective that only real fighters ever reach.
And with the death thing, I don't know, I just look at life and I'm just like, man, it's crazy. Like all of this stuff here, believe it or not, is a big distraction. Everything that I chase and everything that I want to own to make me feel relevant on this earth is not.
This clip highlights how Jake Paul reacts when pressure arrives outside the ring. Tyson Fury's reaction reflects disbelief at how messy the situation looks. Real fighters accept scrutiny and consequences, but Jake Paul appears uncomfortable when control slips away. Compared to Anthony Joshua's calm dignity during a real crisis, this contrast exposes the gap between manufactured confidence and genuine strength.
I'm gonna dish out a whole lot of pain. I'm gonna put this hurt locker for sure.
Tyson, there seems to be an edge about you this week. What's happened? There seems to be an extra menace about you.
I got nothing to say, apart from there's going to be a whole lot of hurt and pain in this fight, you watch. That's all I got to say. Talking's been done. The first fight, I talked, I joked, all my career. This time I'm serious. I'm going to do some damage here on Saturday night. Watch me go to work on this fight.
Thank you, Tyson. Let's get an opening word from the defending champion.
Johnny Nelson is clearly saying the situation has nothing to do with boxing anymore. He is talking about human lives, families, and loss. By placing Anthony Joshua's survival alongside the lives that were lost, Nelson demands respect and perspective. This level of seriousness exposes how shallow Jake Paul's online drama looks when compared to real tragedy and real consequences.
This is serious. This is a serious situation, so you've got to forget that now. This is somebody's son. These are somebody's son. This is somebody's life. These boys have lost their lives. So people need to just put the boxing thing to one side. And I understand, that could have been AJ. AJ could have been sat on the other side. So again, it could have been a Rocky Marciano scenario all over again. But it wasn't. But still, those two other lives were just as valuable as Anthony Joshua's. And so you've got to give it the same consideration, the same passion, the same understanding, the same patience. And just, when you're talking career, you know what? It's nothing. It means nothing in comparison.
Anthony Joshua went through a brutal car accident that tested his body beyond anything inside the ring. A fighter built to handle punishment was left in a vulnerable state. Oleksandr Usyk calling out Jake Paul connects directly to this pain and loss. Jake Paul turning combat into entertainment contrasts sharply with real injury, real recovery, and the seriousness surrounding Anthony Joshua's situation.
Been through such a severe car accident there. Like, all right, he's lucky enough to still be alive, but fuck me, his body must be going through a lot right there. This is not a man who winces in pain easily, right? He gets punched for a living. And obviously, like, you're supposed to take people out of car accidents like that with great care because you don't want to make
Eddie Hearn is talking about responsibility beyond boxing contracts and fight nights. The focus is on care, protection, and family during a moment of crisis for Anthony Joshua. Fame offers no shield when real danger strikes. Anthony Joshua's situation reminds everyone that fighters are human first. Oleksandr Usyk standing firmly beside him shows real brotherhood. Jake Paul operates in a world of promotion and noise, but moments like this expose who truly understands sacrifice, loyalty, and the cost of being a professional fighter.
It's a case of dealing with the inquiries and the media, and you can imagine how many people are trying to find out.
Jarrell Miller admits that rivalries disappear when reality hits. Anthony Joshua's accident crosses every boundary of competition. The emotional toll described shows how deeply the situation affected people across boxing. Respect arrives when lives are at stake. Oleksandr Usyk's anger toward Jake Paul grows stronger in moments like this. Jake Paul benefits from shock value online, but Anthony Joshua's pain is not content. It is trauma that reaches fighters, families, and rivals alike.
You don't know what other people are going through. And even though AJ, we're not on the best terms, man, I feel for this brother, man. Because it could have been my family, could have been my friends. And I feel like, man, it's mentally like kind of draining looking at this stuff all day on the line. And like I said, I didn't really see nothing too graphic until this morning. Was like, now I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my life, man. I've seen dead bodies before and all that. And man, I don't even know how to even express myself.
Joe Rogan raises serious concerns about long-term damage after such a violent crash. Survival does not guarantee full recovery. Anthony Joshua's future health becomes the priority, not fights or headlines. Oleksandr Usyk's reaction is driven by fear of permanent consequences. Jake Paul demanding attention during such a period feels misplaced. Real combat sports carry risks that follow fighters for life, and Anthony Joshua's situation proves how quickly everything can change outside the ring.
And who knows what happened to him when he survived, right? Like, did he hit his head? Did he hit his neck? Like, what is he okay? Like, is he 100%? Or is he always going to be a little fuck from that?
Oleksandr Usyk speaks with pain, respect, and loyalty. The focus is on loss, friendship, and support for Anthony Joshua during recovery. Words carry weight because the bond is genuine. Oleksandr Usyk does not speak for cameras. He speaks as family. The call-out of Jake Paul later carries emotional depth because it comes after tragedy. Entertainment boxing feels hollow when measured against real grief, real loss, and real brotherhood.
Oleksandr Usyk said, "This is an unbelievable loss. Sinna Atlatif for two incredible people who were not only part of AJ's team, but also friends. My sincere condolences to their families, loved ones, and everyone who knew them. Anthony Joshua, wishing you a speedy recovery. Stay strong, champion."
Joe Rogan highlights how close Anthony Joshua came to a fatal outcome. Survival depended on seconds and circumstance, not toughness. Boxing strength means nothing in moments like this. Oleksandr Usyk's challenge toward Jake Paul is rooted in anger and protection, not promotion. Jake Paul treats danger casually, but Anthony Joshua's experience shows how fragile life truly is. Fighting is serious, and respect must come before spectacle.
I mean...
That's bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did...
There's no way.
He would be dead.
There's
Probably,
no way.
or fucking severe.
John Fury's words reflect the raw reality of Anthony Joshua's near-death experience. Survival in moments like these is not guaranteed, and even the strongest athletes are left exposed. Every punch in the ring cannot prepare a fighter for a life-threatening accident on the road. The relief and blessings John Fury expresses underscore how serious and rare Joshua's recovery is. In comparison, Jake Paul thrives on publicity and manufactured challenges, whereas Anthony Joshua has faced real danger and emerged resilient. Oleksandr Usyk's subsequent call-out is fueled by loyalty and the desire for justice, connecting personal risk with professional challenge. This situation emphasizes that life and health far outweigh any social media hype or flashy fights, reinforcing the respect real champions earn.
AJ, you're one lucky lad. God bless you, I'm glad you're alive again. Shocked me, it has. Terrible. Anyway, good luck everybody and try and enjoy the new year as much as you can and be safe.
Gareth Davis highlights the dangerous contrast between real fighters and media-driven stars. Anthony Joshua approached America with dignity and responsibility, while a fight with Jake Paul carried inherent risk for both physical and public perception. Jake Paul suffered a broken jaw in the past, yet uses it as spectacle and publicity, showing how superficial some challenges are. Anthony Joshua has faced true adversity both inside and outside the ring. His role in America was measured, mature, and reflective of a true champion, focusing on preparation, recovery, and respect for opponents. Oleksandr Usyk's determination to call out Jake Paul is informed by witnessing the difference between real fighters who endure pain and manufactured fighters who thrive on hype. Every moment reinforces how serious and disciplined a professional like Anthony Joshua is.
Well, I think some very interesting and germane points you make there in this moment, Raheem. That I think what I've noticed, that obviously there were a kind of panoply of opinions about him fighting Jake Paul to take it back a week and a half. I mean, I was critical of that fight being signed, first of all, because I worried about the dangers for Jake Paul. He got his jaw broken at the end of the day, and kind of used the scars as a flag in his new moon, delusionally optimistic, in his words, as he is about these things. So Anthony Joshua went to America a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, played the role which he needed to play, was very classy throughout.
Tony Bellew points out the vulnerability Anthony Joshua faced during the accident. Even a seasoned heavyweight boxer can be dazed and injured outside the ring, showing that real life carries risks no training can fully prepare for. Compassion and awareness become essential traits, contrasting sharply with Jake Paul's performative toughness online. Anthony Joshua has endured true danger, and Oleksandr Usyk's anger and call-out to Jake Paul are motivated by both loyalty and the seriousness of past events. The commentary shows that fighting is not just about skill and power, but understanding real-life consequences, risk, and recovery. True champions are defined by their response to adversity, and Anthony Joshua demonstrates resilience, focus, and strength in ways Jake Paul cannot replicate.
He could get seriously hurt. I believe Josh might have some compassion.
Sonny Faz emphasizes the magnitude of Anthony Joshua's experience beyond the ring. Facing life-threatening circumstances while under global scrutiny highlights the true stakes of a champion's life. Breaking Jake Paul's jaw is trivial compared to surviving an accident that took the lives of close friends. The narrative underscores how fragile life is and how much real danger matters over money, fame, or social media drama. Anthony Joshua navigates survival, grief, and recovery, while Oleksandr Usyk's call-out to Jake Paul is grounded in loyalty, protection, and a drive for accountability. The situation frames a stark contrast between real fighters facing loss and manufactured fighters seeking attention without facing real risk.
Is 2 weeks ago, this guy's in front of the whole world. Netflix, millions of dollars, breaks Jake Paul's jaw in 2 places, decides to go back to Nigeria, almost dies. 2 of his closest friends pass away in the accident. You never know what days your last.
The road ahead is clear and intense as Oleksandr Usyk calls out Jake Paul following the life-threatening accident that Anthony Joshua survived. This is not a simple fight or a social media stunt. It is a test of courage, skill, and accountability. Anthony Joshua endured near-death circumstances, losing close friends, and facing the fragility of life. Yet he returned stronger, focused, and unshaken, proving what true champions are made of. Oleksandr Usyk's challenge is fueled by loyalty and a desire to see justice outside the ring, demanding that Jake Paul step up from hype to real combat. Fans now face a historic showdown where MMA skills, real toughness, and mental resilience will be measured, and every moment will expose the difference between manufactured fame and genuine elite fighting. This fight carries stakes far beyond money or views. It is about respect, survival, and proving who truly belongs in the arena of champions. Don't just watch from the sidelines. Join the conversation now. Share your thoughts in the comments and decide who you believe will rise above the hype and leave a mark that can never be forgotten.